Reggae Interviews. Word Sound Power.
This is DJ745, live for a virtual link-up with Sean Paul. He's been involved in making hit music for approximately 25 years. That's an achievement in itself. And right here in 2021, he's releasing not one, but two hot new albums. How are we doing today?
Very good, bro. Very good. Thank you for the time, man.
That's good to hear. How close was I with the 25 years?
Yeah, it's about. I started to do demos in 1994, and then I got my first song out in 1996.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I got the green light to speak to you, it got me thinking, what was the first song that I remember hearing from you? And I'll tell you what the song was. It was a song that you did for a producer, Anthony Redrose. The song was on the Answer Rhythm. This one right here. You see that?
Yeah.
And for some reason, that song really stuck out in my head. So it's one of the conscious songs that you did when you were first sort of starting out. And it really pushed me as a kid to investigate who is this new artist on the block, Sean Paul.
Enough of them want test judge all the while, but them not got my cheap profile. Mad. Yeah.
You know what it was? I think that the rhythm that was on, one of those classic rhythms in the history of Jamaican music, it just worked for me.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
So while we're talking about the early days, thinking back to that time, can you remember who was the first radio presenter or selector that busted Sean Paul and gave your career a strength?
Honestly, the first person to ever play me was Muta Baruka, which is a crazy thing because full circle now, my first conscious song I've done in a long time, he's actually on it. Guns of Navarone featuring him, Jesse Royal and Stoneboy. Yeah. So it feels like a full circle thing. You know, he had a major show on the radio. He was a great dub poet and an amazing philosopher. And so I just wanted to give him the record. I got 5 test press copies, 45s, from the producer. And I was like, I'm going to give him one. And I went there to his bookstore, which he had in New Kingston. I waited on him. He wasn't there yet. He came and opened up the store. While he was opening up the front door, I went to him and I was like, yo, Muta, I'm a new artist. This is my first single. I just want to know what you think about it. And he said, all right, yeah, all right, cool. And he went inside. And I left, and I was doing homework that night. And then, because I was still in college, studying. And it dawned on me, oh, the show's on, and I ran to turn it on. And, bro, I kid you not, as I pressed the power button, I heard Muta's voice saying, yeah, well, this is you now. You have a song where you have something to say. Just listen it. And he just played it. And I was like, damn! I had no Instagram, no Twitter, no Facebook, no MySpace, no TikTok to tell people and let people know what's up. There was no body awake. I was like after 11 at night. So I just remember that being a very surreal experience, and an amazing feeling to hear my voice, and I know it was on the radio that other people were hearing it. So amazing feeling, man. Big up to Muta to be the first, and for being on this single too.
Absolutely. Now that song that you're talking about from back in the mid-90s, that was called Ghetto Alarm, right?
Yes, bro.
Let's go. And I guess that back then as a youth, to even have 5 copies on a 7-inch pre-release must have been a big thing for you then.
Yeah, huge. I mean, I was nothing. I wasn't even doing dub plates at that time. That time I was just doing demos, and one of them got heard by a guy named Robert Livingston, who was Shaggy's manager, but he was also Supercat's manager before that. And he heard it and he said, "Oh man, you sound like Cat. I want to do some test press field." And that just gave me a taste for more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to give props to people like Muta Baruka because his cutting edge shows, they've been kind of, they're legendary. That's the only way to put it.
They're controversial. They're very entertaining and informative as well. Dope stuff.
Yeah. So I guess that, like you said earlier on, full circle, bringing Muta Baruka in for Guns of Navarone, also featuring Jesse and Stoneboy as well.
Yeah. Amazing vibes. I did the tune, the first and the first verse and the chorus. And I just felt like every time I tried to do the second verse, I felt this is boring with me alone in it. I need somebody else. And so we went through a few names, and then one of them came up, which was Jesse Royal. And I was like, that's interesting. I think it would probably work. His topics are very conscious that he sings about, but also I didn't ever hear him on a dancehall track before. So thought it would have been different. He's usually more of a reggae one drop guy. And when I called him, he was like, yeah, bro, immediately. And he came over, he heard it, he was like, yeah, that's dope. And he did it up, you know. A few weeks, about a couple of days later, my brother came and heard the song and was like, oh, man, yo, this reminds me of something that Muta said in a speech back in 2015. I'm finding it. Went on YouTube and pulled it up, and you know, we listened to the whole thing again, and then I was like, oh, that part, yeah. So we cut up a few parts of it and put it in the intro and the outro. A few weeks later after that, Stoneboy comes to Jamaica. He's like, yo, I'm here, so I'm coming to check you. I said, yeah. He comes over and he's sitting outside there, and we're just playing the album. We're smoking and talking, and he's like, yo, what is this I'm listening to? I was like, oh, it's the new album. He's like, oh, man, I have to get on this. I was like, it's done, bro. It's not coming out. You know, you can't do that. I'm mixing, and he's like, man, I have to get on it, bro. And I was like, man, he's like, I gotta get on it, bro. So I'm like, yeah, maybe you would do the remix for this song. Let me play it for you. And I played it. He was like, oh, dope. Immediately did it. We shot his part of the video that night, and we shot the rest of the video the next day. The song is about, you know, the violence that's happening everywhere, not only in Jamaica. We have a lot of violence here, though. And so, yeah, just trying to combat that and be the change I want to see in society, or in the universe, so to say, just by battling it with words, you know, for now.
I mean, how would you respond to the Jamaican Prime Minister's recently been very vocal in saying that the music's been overtaken by violence? He's talking about the music being made devaluing culture. How do you respond to that as an artist that's been in the music for such a long time?
I never said that music would make a kid pick up a gun, but I do believe that it helps to make us more complacent. I do believe that they are embellishing the stories a lot when they speak about violence or extra hyper sexual stuff. And I do believe that they're glorifying violence, people that do it. So I tend to agree, not that it's causing the violence, but that we don't want to contribute to the sentiment that that's okay. And for me, artists are supposed to lead people out of the dark and show them a little bit of light. And I can't say I agree, oh, the music is making it happen. Crime is there. It happens because of poverty. It happens because of poor management of the country over the years. And it happens because of selfishness. People get, you know, they're in hard times and they become, the selfish ones are more like, I got to get for me, you know what I mean? And that's why crime exists. But also us singing about it every day. I like to say it like this, you know, you sing about everybody jumping in this river, and you tell everybody, jump in the river is great. And everybody jumps in the river, and you see your own family in the river, and you see them wash away in the river of violence. And you're like, damn, let me go sing another song like that. You know, it for me, I'm not down with that. I've had a couple of friends die by violent means out here, and it's just heartbreaking, you know what I mean, for their families, for their friends, to know the potential that they could have been. And almost every time the reason was just ridiculous. Mistaken identity. Now that's why you shot the dude? Wow. You know what I mean? Just little small arguments. So with that being said, you know, we are too complacent. And another thing, this music is telling people exactly what's happening right now in the life of whoever's singing it. And so it's supposed to be the newspaper of the streets. But it doesn't. Yo, lock the door. Yeah, it was supposed to be was supposed to be for people to tell, you know, what's happening right now. And I think the embellishment and the not telling the real stories is just actually watering down the music and making it not be as potent as it should be. So when we embellish, you know, we don't tell stories of when a gunman gotta go hide in the bush and live in a hill, and his baby mom has a new baby and he can't see them. The police is looking for them, and we don't tell stories of their paranoia because they're afraid that their friends are, you know, gonna sell them out. There's things like that that exist in that world that you're not telling the story of. You're only telling us, jump in the river. The river is great. You know what I mean? And every day I'm seeing kids wash away with this violent river. And I just don't want to contribute to telling them it's okay to jump in the river, because it ain't. I want to tell them, yo, don't go near that river if you can't swim. I want to tell them there's sharks, there's alligators in there. There's, you know, there's things that could harm you. So that would be the full circle. That would be the real truth coming out. And nowadays, I don't see the kids doing that. They're just telling these cowboy stories, you know? And it's too much. It's too much, bro.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. It's almost like, you know, we're seeing the glorification side of things, because that's what almost appeals to, you know, things are popping up on social media, on Instagram, but it's not really telling the true story. And
nah.
I guess that, you know, with this new album, Live and Living, you've managed to unite artists that have maybe not seen eye to eye. Was this something that was intentional or just a byproduct of putting together such a powerful dancehall album?
Thank you, bro, for the accolades about the album. The album came together quite just randomly. Like, you know, I had the 5 months where I was not doing nothing, and then I decided to go back to the studio and listen to some things that I've had for a little while now and try to finish them up. One was the song with Buju Banton. He voiced that with me not too long after he was in car, after he came out of his lockup. So what I was planning to do was drop the Buju like in March, and then drop the song with Serrani in like July, and just kind of drop singles throughout the year. But when I started doing the work and then we started doing more new things, I was so excited. And you know, big up to Island Records. They have a contract. They've given me a contract where it gives me space to be able to produce my own self and put out an album underneath my own label in the midst of doing stuff for them. So I called them up and I was like, listen, I want to do an album, really. And they were like, okay, you got to do it before March. And I said, all right, how's March 12th? They were like, yeah. And so I just got cracking now. We kind of finished everything in 5 months, but I wanted to put skits and do stuff like that, but we didn't get to do that because of the time constraint. So I called who I rate, you know. I that's all I did was to call people who I revere their music, the lyrics, the style, the potency, you know, the determination. So I called up people like Sasko, Skilly Bang. They're from 2 different time frames in dancehall. You know, Buju Banton, Intense, 2 different time frames. You know, Left Side, a great producer, a great artist. DeMarco, he built a track for Everest, which is the last song on the album featuring me and Skilly Bang and Maska. And that's, he's a great producer, a great artist as well. Junior Gong, a great producer, great artist. Suko, a great producer, great artist. Serrani, great producer, great artist. So these are people who I've been friends with in the industry. Busy Signal, amazing lyricist. I've been friends with these people forever, but we've just never done work. Reason being, everybody's touring, everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody's trying to, you know, let's do songs with this guy from outside of our genre to reach out. And I just kind of started to remember conversations I've had with Junior Gong and with Buju and with Shaggy too, saying, yo, we don't do enough collabs in this genre. We don't tour enough together. We're all scattered and we need to do that. And after having those conversations with Gong, seeing him put together things like Welcome to Jamrock Cruise was amazing to me. He has a cruise that, you know, they do it every year.
Yeah.
You know, Reggae on the Sea is amazing. So that inspired me again. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put this album together. And it just fell into place like that. So I'm proud to be able to have Skilly Bang and Intense on the same album when people think that they're kind of going at each other with the lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be the person who has done a song with Alkaline, even though he's not on this album, and Squash, because people said, you know, they were going against each other also. You know, I just think that it's time for us to kind of look at that. There's something wrong with that. And every time we sing a song about them boy there, or you know, who are we singing about? It's our own selves. We singing about the dude who lived 5 blocks down the road. Really, we're not singing about anybody, any rapper in America, or we're not singing about any grime artist in England. We're not beefing with them. They're beefing with us. So I just think it's time that we united, man. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you know, one of the byproducts of this whole lockdown, the pandemics that we've had, is that it was probably easier to actually call on Busy because he's not touring. It's easier to call on Gong and actually get together as well.
Yeah, everybody's sitting at home in their own studios or whatever, and it's like, yo, can you do this for me? Oh yeah, for sure. So it was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, you know, every so often in the news, we keep hearing these stories that dancehall is dead, dancehall's dying, but we're saying that dancehall's not getting the numbers. But you're living proof, because that's not the case. 600 million plus streams on Spotify in a year alone. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, exactly how I feel, and that's why I call the album Live and Living. I also called it that for kind of like a positive affirmation in my head, like I'm live and living. I gotta live. I gotta do what I have to do. Maybe I can't tour right now, but I can make music. And every time I've faced a hardship in my life, broke my toe, or you know, been you know, broke up with a girlfriend or whatever, I've leaned up on music. And so right now I think that to give music to people is a great thing. You know, the type of music that I'm doing on this album is more hardcore, dancehall oriented production, and also with the artists. But we're not being derogatory towards each other. We are competing, but we're not clashing. We're competing to make the track better, to make the song fresher, to make the album more amazing. So I'm just trying to prove to everybody that dancehall is live and living. Check the pulse, check all of us. And do it in a way where, you know, it's unity in the dancehall community. But one thing also, I like people to kind of realize that when, you know, hip hop broke in the Bronx, it moved quickly to Queens and Brooklyn, then over the West Coast and down south and England and France and Germany. They're all producing their own hip hop. So we can't say that because it's not the nucleus is now no longer the Bronx, that hip hop is dead, because people still do it. So there are people utilizing dancehall all over the world, like the reggaeton community. In Trinidad music, they call it Trinidad. When they rap on it, like they DJ on dancehall rhythms over there, or Western music. Afrobeat has been influenced by what we've been doing in the past, you know, how much years? 20 years ago, Fela Kuti's music didn't sound like what these guys are doing now. It's definitely influenced by what we've done. And also all these pop guys, Bieber and, you know, Ed Sheeran, and the list goes on. So it is living. It might not be exactly living in the place that we, or there's other people kind of doing it, but and we are not selling the numbers anymore. But the music itself is huge, and there are key players like myself, like Shaggy, like Coffee, who's getting a lot of traction and a lot of airplay right now. Also people like Conscience and Charlie Blacks. You know, Serrani's been on major radio stations. So for people to say that is ridiculous to me, and that's why Live and Living, man.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it seems like, you know, the Drakes, Justin Bieber's, the Ed Sheerans, they're all influenced by Jamaican music. And I sometimes feel that we actually underappreciate the genre that's been created in Jamaica. Just like you were saying about hip hop and the Bronx and things. Do we actually underappreciate what has been created by Jamaicans in Jamaica?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in terms of if I would get up tomorrow and sing a song that sounds really country western and say, "Mama, don't let your son grow up to wear panties." You know what I mean? People would be like, "What are you doing country and western now?" I couldn't say to them, "Oh, this is my new single." I would have to say, "This is my country and western single." And that's the respect that I would like to get from anybody who dabbles in it. To just say, "This is my dancehall single." I mean, Ed Sheeran's song is dope. It's amazing. But it is dancehall. I mean, when the beat, when the beat's doing that, whatever you're doing with the music after that, the drum and the bass is reflecting dancehall straight, So anybody also who comes to Jamaica to do music, which is people like Stoneboy, people like Gentleman from Germany, I rate that. I respect that. One of the only pop people that I have respect for when they do mess with the genre is Rihanna, because she says, "I'm doing a dancehall album." Most people just say, "This is my next album," and it has dancehall all over it, but they don't never say dancehall. So, to me, for such a powerful music to influence reggaeton, influence Afrobeat, influence the Trinidad scene, and influence all these pop people, for us to not get the accolades, or when we do win a Grammy, we don't get our speech broadcasted. We're just like giving it around the back. To me, it's proof that people just want to use it how they want to. So, when the hip hop artist in Germany said, "This is my music," he said, "This is my hip hop. This is hip hop music. I'm doing hip hop now." He never said, "This is my new music. I've innovated it and I've invented it and I'm innovated." No. And so that's why I want people to recognize and respect. I love all the pop artists. I love them doing it. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying I'm doing dancehall now because it's that popular.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I think that, credit where credit is due. That's what you're saying ultimately. Yeah. I mean, starting out, you entered into the dancehall arena and you kept it strictly dancehall. You were so ahead of the curve with bringing dancehall to the global world. I mean, when I think of your breakout singles that really sort of like touched souls across the world, you didn't actually go on any sort of like watered down rhythms or anything. When we think of things like the buzz rhythm.
Give me the light, temperature, like glue, get busy, all of those.
Yeah, it almost seems like you were kind of ahead of yourself, and it seems like you wanted to put dancehall at that time on the map because, people like Shaggy had done it, people like Shabba, Supercat had done it before you, and we got the real deal with the songs that you put out there.
Yeah, I've always loved dancehall music, and when we saw people get signed like, Lieutenant Stitchie or Shabba or even Shaggy, we're like, yeah. And then we heard the music that they were pushing in the States or in London, and it's all mixed with R&B, and we're like, oh, okay, we're still happy for them. But what happened to Ting-a-ling-a-ling? I want to, the songs that we like Trilla Loda Girls and all those songs, those rhythms are more authentic. So it's something that I learned from what they did though. They did that in order to get on the radio and to be presented on TV, because the palette of the international circuit just wasn't, they wasn't ready for this, you know what I mean? And it's so simple and it's so dope. So for me, I was just enthused to be in the business, and I wanted to record songs that my own people would go, hey, bow, 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 to. I never really thought of going international with it. So saying I'm as ahead of the curve, I was really following people like Shabba Ranks and Buju Banton and Busy Sick, Buju Banton and people like, the greats who came before me, Super Cat. So I think I was in the right place at the right time. I was a dope MC. I had a great lyrics, but Shaggy broke open that door, and so did Shabba Ranks. They broke those doors open with those R&B singles that they did with KRS-One, the hip hop side of it, and Maxi Priest and Shabba, you know what I mean, and the Johnny Gill songs.
Yeah.
Shaggy sampling Cypress Hill and also remixing it on the Marvin Gaye rhythm, Let's Get It On. All those things was done as a step for them to get in, but it also broke open the door for many more of us to be like the authentic sound. So I may have been ahead of the curve in terms of internationally, but it's a part of our culture here. When you grow up as a kid here, you be playing football or playing catch outside, and one person yell out, "People, are you ready?" And everybody said, "Wow!" Everybody just knows the next line. You know, it was our greatest pastime, and as kids to know new music that's being produced here, and so for that reason, I'm forever grateful for people like Bob Marley, Jimmy Cliff, Bernie Spear, Third World, Shabba, Supercat, you know, Buju. All of them made steps before me, and I was just an MC coming up. That's dope. And then the time was just there that it happened for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then after that, then the big collabs came in: Beyonce, Blue Cantrell, Keisha Cole, Rihanna.
Yeah. And I also want to big up DMX, bro. R.I.P. to him and respect due to his family and fans and his friends. You know, if he was the biggest artist at that time when he came and did the song with me and Mr. Vegas, and he didn't have to do it, bro. He had 3 albums that year that went platinum in 1 year. He was huge. If kids don't understand who he was, let me just tell you, just to me the biggest star. And he didn't have to come and do a song with 2 young artists in Jamaica. Actually, the producer, Hype Williams of the movie, the director of the movie, he wanted to get 2 more established dancehall artists. But the producer, Tony Kelly, was like, "Nah, these guys are dope. Check them out." And when he checked them out, he was like, "All right, cool." When he checked us out. And then, you know, X basically came in the room. I was like, "All right, cool." And he did it. You know, he didn't have any qualms about giving us that strength. And so big up to him. R.I.P. to him, bro. He's definitely missed. There's nobody that did sound like him. And for him to bring all his vulnerability into the game, I salute him, man. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because it seems as though in the past sort of 12 months, we seem to have lost so many icons in the music industry.
Yeah, bro.
It's almost like sometimes I'm scared to actually turn on Facebook or Instagram.
I'm tired of posting that R.I.P. to this great one. You know what I mean? There was Toots. There was Bunny Wailer. There's you know, U-Roy for us. And I also had a engineer called Barry O'Hare that he passed away too.
X-rated.
So, you know, and also my brethren Chicken, Mr. Chicken from Dirty Cup Crew. So it's been a hard year. It's been, and you know, I shed so much tears that I'm numb now. Like, so, you know, hearing X got sick, I was like, oh man. I just kind of prayed for him in private, in my own private space, and then got the news that he had actually made the transition. So just you know, it's awful this year. It's been crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that a lot of people are saying to me is that during this pandemic, family time has really sort of come to be a much.
Yeah, bro.
What's one thing that you've learned about your own kids being at home, or maybe something that your kids have taught you, which you feel that might not have happened because you're busy touring, you're flying here, there, doing concerts? What's that one thing that comes to your mind?
Well, I like to look at the positive side of everything. So family time and the studio time was the 2 things that has kept me sane in this past year, right? So when I was touring more than 6 months out of the year, I did keep in touch with, like, I basically, I'm on the phone every day to my wife and FaceTime, and she was tired of me. And then even my kid, even my first son, I have a son and a daughter, but my son was like, he got tired of seeing me on FaceTime. I think he almost thought my name was FaceTime at one point. But he's like, hi, Dad, and he continued to watch TV or his iPad, and I'm like, yo, talk to me. Yeah, bro. It's like, it was nothing. So I'm loving the family time, and what he's taught me. He teaches me every day, even when I'm on tour. It reminds me of myself, and I see my wife and her family there too. So it reminds me of the union. It reminds me, and you know, his name, Levi, it's supposed to be, the meaning of the name is joined in harmony. So it was our first son, and it was me and my wife, and I was like, oh, he's providing the harmonies for our life right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, every day. He's a creative kid, just like myself. I can see him playing games, and he don't need nobody around him, even though he loves his friends. But he could just play a whole game by himself. I guess a lot of kids do, but it so reminds me of myself, man. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
On the Live and Living album now, one noticeable absence. There's no females on that particular project. Does that mean that there's a Live and Living Part 2 planned? What's the story? We've got so many female artists.
I actually am very, very happy for the female artists right now. It's been a male-dominated business forever, and any female who came through had to do it hard. You know what I mean? But now there's people, you know, Shensia, one of my favorite ones right now. Jada Kingdom also, and both of them are on my next album. I have an album called Scorcha coming out. In May, I'll start promoting singles from it. I have a video shot already for the lead out single called Scorcha. And I'll start putting those songs out then. But Jada Kingdom is on that album, and also Shensia with Gwen Stefani in one song. That's going to be an amazing piece of song. Also, I got Sia and Tovlo and a lot of different people from, like, you know, other genres on there. So the lady contingent, I guess, was left off of Live and Living purposely because I think that they're now getting their own traction, and I didn't want to feel like, oh, they're hot right now, so let me take them on, let me ride on their wings. And I wanted to kind of build up, you know, a better relationship between the dudes in dancehall, a unity in the community, because for years we've just been all going at each other, jealous of each other. Not, you know, the dudes really do that more than the ladies. So that's the reason. That's the reason why I left off the ladies off for this first project. We do sample Sasha in the song Spaceship.
Yeah,
that's Sasha from I'm Still in Love, Sasha. That was our first song. Our first song was called Kill the Bitch. And we sampled a part out of it. Yeah, I think, you know, for those reasons, I left the ladies off because I already have them on that album. But also, I didn't want it to seem, I just wanted to be as grass as possible, like down to the ground, like very essential. I never even put my picture on the album cover, which helps me to sell a lot of albums to ladies sometimes. You know what I mean? But as you see in those two that you have up there, Stage 1 and Dirty Rock. So if people don't know, they might miss this album. You know, and I kind of wanted to do it from the ground up to kind of sharpen my skills, test my own power, and it's doing very good as I expected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, like I said to you before, it seems like you've brought the best out of everyone in this project, Live and Living, and I think some of the collabs. I mean, the one with Gong and Ching, that's crazy.
Yeah. Schedule. Thank you.
I would have loved to have been there when that song was voiced, because you guys seem to be on a totally mad vibe on that one.
Oh, it was fun. You know, I've known Junior Gong from prep school. He was in my brother's class, and of course, everybody knows Bob Marley. So, but he was closer to us in the fact that him and my brother were actually friends. So, when we do get together, it's all like, yo, what up, bro? And we smoking and we drinking and we reason about not only music, but more friendship type of talking and, you know, deep conversation. So this time was one of those friendly nights. It was like, yo, playing rhythms, and he came here to the studio before it was all set up inside or nothing. It was nothing but a table, to tell the honest truth, and two speakers. And he was like, oh, nice, play some tracks. We played them, and he was listening, and he kept going back to that one. Play back that one with the keyboard. And then he started spitting, and everybody's like, yo. So it was really fun. And the song turned out amazing with me and Ching in it. We was just all there having fun tonight. But schedule is a code word that we have for Hennessy backstage. So anytime we walk into the backstage and there's no Hennessy, I'm always like, yo, where's the schedule? We're not on schedule. So people started to get it. And Gong is one of them who knows the term schedule, and he was like, yo, that's bad that you put it in the song. Yeah, let's call the song schedule. And I was like, oh yeah, wicked. So dope vibe.
No vibes. And Gong's one of your guests on the new album that's forthcoming in May, Scorcha, 14 tracks, 7 of which are collabs. And Gong, I think, is the only artist that's on Live and Livin and also on the forthcoming album.
Yeah, he's the only one that features on both. We've been doing some work from before. He's even on some productions of mine that I haven't put out yet. We're kind of trying to decide, you know, on how the music should actually go. He voiced on a demo track. As I said, we're friends. You know, a lot of times when I go to Miami, I'll check him out. I'll drive up to the house. He has a studio in there. And this guy crazy, yo. Like, he works all night, and he's very focused. So, so I remember the first time I actually said I was gonna work with him with a song called Riot. We went there. Riot was on an album I put out in 2014, I believe, or maybe 2012. And went there at 6 in the evening, and we started building the track, and we started writing the lyrics. And by the time I turned around, it was 9 in the morning, and I was about to leave. And I was like, yo, you got a football field. And he goes, yeah, man, Wembley, man, Wembley. And he's like, you want to play? And I was like, what? And we ended up playing football, all of us, producers, the engineers, the artists, till 12 o'clock in the day. So that's soccer, right? Because he's really, just like his pops, loves to play soccer. And I was like, damn, how you do that, bro? I worked the whole night. So I thought the next day wasn't going to be as long. It was the same thing. And he almost wanted to play football the next morning. I was like, no, I'm going to sleep, bro. I'm going to sleep. He's just got a monster work ethic. So that's probably why he called himself Gongzilla. He's like a monster in that respect.
Yeah. So we've got another album coming on Island Records in May 2021.
Yes, sir.
Something else is happening in May, the 8th of May 2021. I think that date must be in your mind for a reason.
May 8th, yeah. May 8th is where I'm planning to, you know, do a performance for people, a virtual performance, me and Dream Stage. I've done 3 so far, one for BBC, one for Clean Bandits, and one for Miller Genuine Draft. And I just thought, well, I don't want to do too much of them. So before anybody starts to ask me again, let me just do one of my own. And we hooked up with Dream Stage to do it. So May the 8th is going to be in Kingston. You're going to see it's on a beach in Kingston. You're going to see the city behind us. And you're going to be able to taste that rum and smell that weed and a lot of good things. It's exciting for me, though, because I haven't really performed for over a year. So the band is coming down. There's 2 members of my band who live abroad, and the other 2 live in Jamaica. So we have to come together to rehearse, and then we go perform all over the world. But now we're going to rehearse to do here. But as I'm saying, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to kind of just working out. You know what I mean? When you haven't worked out in a long time, or even taken a walk, you're like, damn, I need to go out there and smell the fresh air. So so it's going to be cool.
That's going to be good.
Come on.
A question for you now. What motivates you to continue doing the things that you're doing? You know, new albums, rhythm productions, obviously touring, doing the virtual things. What motivates you to, you know, what is it that drives you to continue doing what you're doing?
I love music. I love to see ladies dance and enjoy themselves. The ladies shaking it does it for me a lot. And even though we have no more clubs to really go to here, because we're all locked down, I can see on Instagram and you know, this TikTok thing now, everybody's doing that. So that's really has been a big motivation for me. But also to take part in the history, and, you know, thus the album like this, where I'm bigging up people who I respect. Sorry, and also say some things. So now the motivation or the inspiration is not only just the ladies. It still is that, but it's seeing all these people that I was talking about before washing away in this river of violence, and I want to be able to say something about it. So, you know, songs like Danger Zone featuring Subtle Bliss, and also Bugle on the album is a dope one to check out if you like conscious vibes. We just spoke about the song with Jesse Royal and Muta Baruch and Stoneboy, as in Guns and Navarone. There's also a couple songs like Protect Me with Serrani, and also I'm Sanctified with Sasko and Movado, which are, to me, they're like prayers. So it motivates me to be able to say this to people now as well. I was a conscious artist when I first began, as you know, in terms of most of my lyrics was just that. And they were all mainly demos. But I've been a conscious person ever since. It's just that the Mr. Gimme the Light guy kind of took control. And so now, yeah, all those things inspire me, and I'm glad I have that to lean on as well, because sometimes it does get kind of monotonous to say the same thing in a song, shake that, you know what I mean, do that with the ladies, but also that's fun times, and I always get back to that. But for now, this is helping to inspire me a lot more.
Well, look, Sean Paul, do you know, I really give thanks for everything that you've spoken about today, and we give thanks for all the great music you've made over the years as well.
Thank you.
What's left for you to achieve now then? Going forward, what is it you want to achieve? Are we talking
I'm already a hit artist, and I tour the world and stuff, but I want to be a hit producer. I would like to produce something for myself or for somebody else that the song blows up and it does well for them and streams or sells or whatever, and they get to go on tour with that. I'm talking about blow up huge, like one of my songs did. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And right now, I'm just a beat maker. Like, I have an MPC. I make my beats, you know, drum and bass and a few sounds around it. Keyboards, I mess with it. But then I do get, you know, my production team, which consists of my brother, Jig Zagula, people like Kappa Sean from Kappa Shot Sound System, News from Money Matters. He runs my label for me when I'm not here. And also Suko from Ward 21. We're kind of a team that produces stuff for my label, for Dirty Rock. So a lot of it comes from me, but also I take other rhythms from them. Like Suko built the rhythm for me and Bugle, the song called Danger Zone.
Danger Zone.
Also News built the rhythm for me and Busy Signal. And I built, me and my brother and Sean Anderson, Kappa Sean, built the one for me and Serrani. So I want to be a better producer. That's one of my goals. Other than that, I just want to strive and stay alive, man. I just, you know what I mean? I think these are survival years right now. Once we make it through this, it's going to be some glorious times again.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, look, I want to give thanks for your time today, and we're definitely looking forward to being over in Europe, hopefully later on in 2021 as well. We keep our fingers crossed.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate the time, and I just want to say big up to the fans and thanks for the support, man.
No problem. Bye.
Reggae Interviews. Word Sound Power.